recording हाँ. Okay, I will remember when Caesar say do this, it is done.
Go on then. Don't leave out any of the proper rituals.
Caesar,
Hey, who's calling me?
everyone be quiet. Again quiet.
Who is it in the crowd that's calling me? I hear a voice that's shriller than any of this music, calling out Caesar. Speak. Caesar is listening.
Beware March 15th.
Who is saying that?
A soothsayer tells you to be aware 15 March.
Bring him to me. Let me see his face.
Man, step out of the crowd. Stand before Caesar. The soothsayer approaches.
What are you saying to me now? Say it again.
Beware March 15th.
He's crazy. Let's leave him. Continue on.
Are you going to come to watch the race?
Not me.
Please come and watch it.
I'm not feeling festive. I lack some of Adrian's lively, competitive spirit. But don't let me stop you from doing what you want. Cassius, I'll leave you alone.
Brutus, I've been watching you recently. I've noticed that you seem less friendly toward me than I'm used to. You've been rough and unfriendly to me. Your friend who loves you.
Cassius, don't be fooled. If I seem unfriendly, it's because my troubled looks are actually directed at myself. Lately, I have been overwhelmed with private thoughts and conflicting emotions, which must have affected my behavior. But my good friends should not be troubled, and I count you as a good friend, Cassius. And they should not see anything more than my distinct behavior than that poor Brutus, who is at war with himself, has forgotten to show affection to others.
Brutus, I misunderstood your feelings, and for that reason I kept to myself a number of important thoughts. Good Brutus, tell me, can you see your face?
No, Cassius, because the eye can't see itself except in reflection on other surface.
That's a fact, but it's a shame that you don't have any mirrors in which to view on your own worthiness. Brutus, I've heard many of the most respected Romans, with the exception of immortal Caesar, mention you while complaining of the burden of our current government, and wish that your eyes were working better.
Cassius, what danger do you want to lead me into by asking me to look inside myself for something that isn't in me?
Be prepared to listen, good Brutus, and since you know the best way to see yourself is by reflection, I'll act as your mirror and show to you the parts of yourself of which you are unaware, without exaggerating. Don't be suspicious of what I say, noble Brutus. If I were some frivolous fool, or made the same stale vows of friendship to every new friend I met, or if you knew that I flatter men to their faces only to slander them once they are gone, or if you learn that I make declarations of friendship to all the mobs of people while at a feast, then, of course, don't believe me.
What is meaning of this shouting? I fear the people have made Caesar the king.
Really? Do you fear that? Then I must guess that you don't want to happen.
I don't, Caesar. Even though I love, even sorry, I don't, Cassius. Even though I love Caesar dearly, but why do you keep me here so long? What is it that you want to tell me? If it's for the general good of Rome, I'll do anything, even if it meant my death. May the gods grant me good favor only so long as I love honor more than I fear death.
I see that quality in you, Brutus. It's as familiar to me as your appearance. In fact, honor is what I want to discuss with you. I don't know what you and other men think of this life, but as for me, I'd rather not live an
यहाँ से
Yeah, sir.
हाँ
Tiber River swelled against its banks. Caesar said to me, Cassius, would you dare to jump with me into this rough water and swim to that distant point? The moment he said that, though I was still in my clothes, jumped and told him to follow. He did. The water roared, and we fought against it with all our strength, inspired to overcome it by our competitive natures. But before we could reach our destination, Caesar cried, help me, Cassius, or I'll sink. Just like Annis carried on his shoulders his elderly father Anchises from the fires of Troy. I carried the tired Caesar from the waves of the Tiber, and this man has now become a god, while I am a wretched creature who must bow down if Caesar carelessly nods my way.
और एक
When,
दूसरा
he,
दूसरा इंसिडेंट है ना, दो तीन इंसिडेंट बोलता है ना अपना वो। हाँ
when he was in Spain, Caesar had a fever, and when he was in its grip, I noticed how he shook. It's true, this god was shaking. His cowardly lips lost their color, and that same eye, whose gaze now terrifies the world, lost its gleam.
ग्लिम।
Yes, I heard him groan, and that tongue of his that ordered the Romans to listen to him and transcribe his speeches in their books, cried like a sick girl. Oh, get me a drink, Titanus. Oh, by the gods, it amazes me that a man of such weak constitution could get an advantage over the entire world and carry the prize of victory alone. A shout of state trumpets fled.
No shouting from the crowd. I think this applause is for some new honor given to Caesar.
Why, sir, he straddles the narrow wall like a giant, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peek out just to find our graves, as if we were slaves. Men can be masters of their fate, Brutus. Our problem is not our problem is not destiny, but ourselves. Brutus and Caesar. What's special about Caesar? Why should that name be shouted more than yours? Write them together. Yours looks just as good. Say them. Yours is just as pleasant to say. Weigh them. It's just as heavy. Do magic with them, and Brutus will call up a spirit just as well as Caesar. Now, in the name of all the gods, I ask you, what meat Caesar has eaten that has made him grow to be so great? The people of our time should be ashamed. Rome has lost the ability to raise noble men. When was there an age since the great flood that didn't contain more than one famous man? When could anyone speaking of Rome say, before now, that just one man ruled the entire city? Indeed, now Rome only has room for one man. Oh, you, I've heard I've heard our fathers say that once there was a Brutus, your ancestor, who would have let the devil reign in the Roman Republic before you would allow a king.
I don't doubt that you love me. I am starting to understand what you would like me to do. I'll tell you what I think about this and about what's happening in Rome later. For the moment, in the name of our friendship, I would prefer that you not try to do any more persuading. I'll think over what you have said. I'll listen patiently to whatever else you have to say, and I'll find an appropriate time for us to consider and make a decision about such weighty matters. Until then, my noble friend, think about this. I would rather be some villager than call myself a citizen of Rome during a difficult situation. These times are likely to put us through.
I'm glad that my weak words have forced even this small show of passion from you.
The games, Caesar enters with followers including Casca. The games are finished, and Caesar is returning.
As they pass by, grab Casca by the sleeve in his sore way. He'll tell you if anything important happened today.
I'll do so, but look there. Cassius, Caesar's face is full of anger while everyone with him look like they have been scolded. Telephone us. face is pale, and Sirius' eyes are darting and angry, just as they get when senators argue with them during sessions at the Capitol.
Casca will tell us what's happened.
Antonio,
Caesar,
to Antonio so that only he can hear. I want the men around me to be fat, well-groomed men who sleep soundly through the night. Cassius, over there, has a lean and hungry leg. He eats too much. Men like that are dangerous.
to Caesar so that only he can hear. Don't be afraid of him, Caesar. He is not dangerous. He is a noble Roman with an honorable character.
If only he were fatter, but I am not afraid of him. Yet, if I myself were capable of fear, I don't know of any man I would avoid more than skinny faceless. He reads a lot. He is a keen observer and he sees the hidden motives behind men's actions. He doesn't enjoy plays like we do. Anto- Antonio, Anthony, he never listens to music. He almost never smiles. So when he does smile, he does it as if he is mocking the part of himself that could be inspired to smile by anything. Men like him can never be confirmed as long as they know that there is someone better and more powerful than they are, and therefore they are very dangerous. I am telling you what should be feared rather than what I fear, because after all I am Caesar. Step over to my right now, because my left ear is dead, and tell me honestly what you think of Julius.
Trump's play Caesar and his followers accept Casca exit. To Brutus, you pull on my clock. Do you want to speak with me?
Yes, Casca, tell us what happened today that made Caesar seem so unhappy.
Well, we weren't you with him.
If I were with you, I wouldn't be asking what happened.
Well, a crown was offered to him, and when it was offered, he pushed it away with the back of his hand, like this, and then the people started shouting.
Why was the second noise for?
What was the second noise for? For the same thing.
They shouted 3 times. What was the last cry for?
For the same thing.
The crown was offered to him 3 times.
Yes, that's right, it was. And he pushed it away 3 times, but each time more gently than the last. And each time he pushed it away, my noble countrymen cheered.
Who offered him the crown?
Antony,
Tell us what it was like, noble Casca.
I had just as soon be hanged than to describe it. It was all foolishness. I paid no attention. I saw Mark Antony offered him crown, though it wasn't a real crown. It was more like a wretch. And as I told you, Caesar refused it once, although, in my opinion, he wouldn't be gladly taken it. Then Antony offered it to him again, and Caesar refused it again, though, in my opinion, he didn't want to take his hand off it. Then Antony offered it a third time, and Caesar refused it the third time. Yet, even as he refused it, the masses hooted and clapped their chapped hands, and threw up their sweaty hats, and roared out such a load of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown that is nearly choked Caesar, who fainted and fell down. As for me, I didn't dare laugh because I feared opening my lips and inhaling the stinking air.
Stop for a moment, please. What did Caesar faint?
He fell down in the marketplace and foamed at the mouth and couldn't speak.
That's very likely. He has epilepsy. That's falling sickness.
No, Caesar doesn't have it. But you and I, and honest Casca, we have the falling sickness.
I don't know what you mean by that, but I am sure Caesar fell down. If the masses didn't clap for him or his It is based on whether he pleased or displeased them, just as they do for actors in theatre, then I am a liar.
What did he say when he woke up?
Well, before he fell down, when he realized the commoners were glad he refused the crown, he pulled open his jacket and offered them his throat to cut. If I were a common laborer and didn't take him at his word and cut his throat, then to hell with me. Then he fainted. When he came to, when he came to, he said to the crowd that if he had done or said anything wrong, he wanted them to know that it was caused by his sickness. 3 or 4 women were caused by his sickness. 3 or 4 women standing near me cried, "Alas, good Saul," and forgave him with all their hearts. But don't pay any attention to them. If Caesar had stabbed their mother, they would have said the same thing.
And after all, that he came this way looking so serious.
Yes,
Did Cicero say the same thing?
yes, he said something in Greek.
What did he say?
No, if I told you I understood what he was saying, I wouldn't be able to look you in the eye. But those who did understand him smiled at one another and shook their heads. But speaking for myself, it was Greek to me. But I have more news to tell you. Virulus and Flavius have been punished for the pulling scarves of statue of Caesar. Goodbye. There was more foolishness too, but I can't remember it.
Will you have dinner with me tonight, Casca?
No, I have another commitment.
Will you dine with me tomorrow?
Yes, if I am still alive and you are still sane and your dinner is worth eating.
Good, I'll expect you.
Do that. Farewell to both of you.
What a dull man he has become. He was so quick-witted when he was in school.
And he's quick-witted now. When it comes to carrying out any bold or noble enterprise, despite this show of being dull, the crudeness of his words is a kind of tasty sauce for the wisdom of what he says, which makes other people more likely to listen to him.
That's exactly. That's it exactly. For now, I'll leave you. Tomorrow, if you'd like to speak with me, I'll come to your house. Or, if you want, come to my house, and I'll wait for you.
I'll do that. Until then, think of what's best for the world. Well, Brutus, you're noble, yet I see that your honorable nature can be turned from its usual inclination. Therefore, it's better for noble men to spend time only with other noble men, because who is so firm that he can't be seduced. Caesar doesn't like me, but he loves Brutus. If I were Brutus now, and he were Cassius, I wouldn't have let him pursue me. Tonight, I'll throw a few letters through his window, each written with different handwriting, as if they came from different citizens, all saying how great his reputation is throughout all of Rome, while also hinting at Caesar's ambition. And after this, Caesar won't be able to sit comfortably in his power, because we'll either overthrow him or suffer worse than we do now.
Okay. Wow, very good. Yeah, super.